Alright, so this Photoshop effect adds instant intrigue to your designs and it can literally be done in a few minutes. Let's get it. So I'm in Photoshop and I'm using a 16 by 20 canvas at 300 dpi. So the first thing we need to do is get our image, which I copied over earlier. This is Eli Moon. This is the actual image I used for his album rollout last year for Tabula Rasa. It was my favourite album of last year. If you haven't listened to it, definitely listen to it. As you can see on this version I did before, you can highlight the rectangle and manipulate which parts of the image you want to be blurred out and which parts of the image you want to show. So it's a really modular effect that you can change however it is that you want to. So in order to create this, we take the photo, I'm just going to move this up a little bit, and you add a rectangle wherever you want it. I'm just going to do a rough one here, and it can be whatever color you want. So I'm just going to go black so I can see it easily. If you go Command A and then center it, you Command A selects the whole canvas, and then you can center this rectangle. Bring the corners in slightly. If you just increase the corner here, don't want them to be too sharp. And then as you can see in the original one, I added a stroke but I didn't really like it, so all we need is a drop shadow. So if we go into double tap the rectangle, brings up your layer styles, go into drop shadow, and you can choose whatever drop shadow you want. I'm just going to go black. I think that looks good. And then as you can see, we need to duplicate the photo above the rectangle. So you select the layer, Command J, bring it up top, and then we're going to clip it to this rectangle. So you can either right click and clip it, or what I do is just select it, option click where the little arrow is, and then you've got that. So now you can see that we've got the outline of the rectangle already there. What we're going to do to this top photo layer though is we're going to go to filter gallery, and then we're going to bring up glass and distort it however you want. Always choose frosted for this effect. I think that looks good though, as it is. Make sure this top layer is also a smart object. If it isn't, you can just right click and click smart object, and then filter again, blur, Gaussian blur, Gaussian blur, I'm not sure what it is, and then just bring that so then it's got a tasteful blur. It might actually look better with the Gaussian blur underneath the filter gallery, so just wait for that to load. Gaussian blur. Blur it quite a bit. And then you can still see those ripples on the top. And that's pretty much it. That's when you've got the effect. And then all you need to do is select the rectangle, Command T, and then you can move it around and you can blur various bits. Obviously, because we made it a smart object, the top photo, you can edit the Gaussian blur itself, so you can make it a lot more blurry. And then once that renders, that's going to make the overall picture super blurry in that bit. So you, again, just edit the rectangle. You can bring the rectangle in a bit more as well. You can expand it. And this effect's useful because you can now put type over the image where you may not have been able to before, because you can see here, Tabula Rasa, a project by Eli Moon. So that's the first example. Here, let's go into another example, seeing as it's January. Alright, so I just made this graphic really quickly. I'd already done the face swap. I can show you how to do face swaps in another tutorial. It's exactly the same story. You duplicate the actual image, make sure it's a smart object, and then you put on a Gaussian blur filter gallery with the glass effect over the top, and then sandwiched between the two images, you put a rectangle with a drop shadow, so then you get this drop shadow of the glass, so it looks like the glass is sitting in front of it. Without this drop shadow, it doesn't quite look as effective. You can't really see the outline of the glass. It just looks a little bit flat. The drop shadow makes it a little bit more dynamic. The use cases of this are pretty endless, and it can be used to spark interest in a bunch of different industries, not just music or sport as the ones that I've shown. I hope you found this useful. I'm going to try and be posting more on this page, so let me know if you found this useful and what you'd like to see going forward. See you on the next one.